We had no idea we had stumbled onto this set, and we didn't even know anything about the director or the actors. But this was a really, really big movie back in the 80s about the Vietnam War. Hey YouTube, it's Kevin from Kevin in the Philippines. I decided to take a break. Today was a nice hot day and cool off in this place called Forest Camp. It's up in the mountains in Valencia, not too far from the place where I live in Dumaguete. And it's just a nice place to come and chill and relax, and I thought I'd record a video here just for fun to do something different. This is kind of sort of reminding me of what it was like growing up in the Philippines when I was a kid, and how on Mondays, or my dad's day off when he wasn't working at the church, we would often go on a family vacation. A little vacation, just a little day off as a family, a little adventure. And this story takes place in early 1986, and that date is important because of the story that I'm about to tell. But our family decided to go up into the mountains and experience just nature, kind of like this. I don't know if we were going for a swim or what we were looking for, but sometimes you just wanted to go out and explore. So this particular day, we all piled into our family truck, which I remember was a blue Isuzu pickup. And I remember it had like 4 doors, you know, cab, and then a long bed with benches in the back, so we could really carry a lot of people. But this particular day, it was just my mom and dad and my sister and I. And we decided to go up into the mountains outside Batangas, where we live. As you can imagine, when we left the city, a cement road, you know, slowly as we're climbing up this mountain, turned into a rocky dirt road, and we were leaving civilization behind. We're getting more and more deeper into the jungle, just trying to explore, and maybe my dad was trying to go to the top of a mountain, I'm not sure. But suddenly, off to the side of the road, something kind of caught our attention that it looked unusual, and that was a big red fire truck. So this fire truck is just parked out in the middle of the jungle on the side of the road, and like, really, like, what is this thing doing here? You know, it caught our attention. We thought that was weird, and then we drove a little bit more, and suddenly we ran into not literally ran into, but came across a tractor trailer. Big trailer. And on the side of the trailer, painted in letters, was the word Platoon. I remember it was like an arc, you know, going across. And basically what had happened was we had stumbled onto the set of Oliver Stone's Platoon, which was a huge movie in 1986. We had no idea we had stumbled onto this set, and we didn't even know anything about the director or the actors. But this was a really, really big movie back in the 80s about the Vietnam War. And it went on to win 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Sound, which is special to me because I work in sound, and Best Film Editing. And the movie at the time had really big stars like Tom Berenger, William Dafoe. It had amazing music. It just had a lot going on for it. It also had other younger stars who were just starting out back at that time, such as Charlie Sheen and Johnny Depp. And these guys were like just young kids, and some of them experiencing some of their first, you know, acting in movies, big movies. And they were in the Philippines, in Batangas, you know, and we were there at the same time. The movie was made for $6 million and ended up grossing over $38 million. So it was a huge success. It was a huge movie. And looking back, it's just like so amazing that our family was able to stumble onto this set completely by accident. Now, I have to be honest and tell you that I wish I could say that we ran into, you know, Oliver Stone and the actors and all that stuff, but the truth was the day that we had gone out there to this set that I'm about to tell you about, the actors weren't there. The director wasn't there. What it was a Filipino crew, like a set decorating art department, and they were preparing a set for a shoot that was going to take place either later that day or the next day, or, you know, later in the week. And they were working on preparing this set for shooting. And so it was kind of like, now that I work in the film business, I kind of understand what this was. It was like an advanced setup crew that was getting ready. What I remember was two specific things that we saw that was really, really cool. The first thing was a big styrofoam Buddha statue. So remember, the movie is supposed to be taking place in Vietnam, so the Philippines doesn't have a lot of Buddha statues or Buddhist temples, so they were constructing a big Buddha made out of foam. And I just remember it, you could tell like this was like movie magic, and I'm I think 8 years old at the time. I'm just like, wow, look at this. And they were sanding it and painting it and, just getting it together. I remember seeing there was very obviously styrofoam blocks, from certain angles. And then it was becoming like this stone looking Buddha statue. The other thing I noticed, which was kind of awesome, was in some trees nearby, we looked up and there were camera platforms in the trees. So it's kind of like a treehouse type situation, where you're like, oh wow. And later, years later, when I finally was able to watch the movie, because it's definitely not a movie for kids, this is a serious movie, war movie, I found out why those things were so important. And so basically, if you watch the movie, there's some scenes where this platoon is on a patrol, and they're on a patrol at night, and it happens to be raining. And how do they make the rain in movies? Well, oftentimes they can use a fire truck, right? Especially in a remote location. So that must have been where the fire truck came in, is they're providing rain for the rain scene at night. The platoon is patrolling through the jungle, and they're on alert, they're looking for stuff, and they come across a big Buddha statue. And the Buddha statue is all lit up, and it's got a lizard crawling on it and all this stuff. And that, of course, now I know was styrofoam. It wasn't really a stone Buddha statue. So that was kind of cool. And then finally, there's a shot where the camera is looking down at the soldiers as they're snaking through the jungle. And so that must have been the platforms that we saw up in the trees. Anyway, so it's just really cool to see that years later and go, oh, now I understand like what that was for. I cannot express enough how much this influenced me as a kid, as a young man, because I was 8 years old when we came across this set, and I just remember thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. And little did I know, later in life I would go on to have a career in film and television myself. In fact, I work in sound, and that's what I do when I'm not here in the Philippines. I work as a production sound mixer for film and television, and it's been a joy to be doing that for the last going on 14 years. So I really do believe in my heart that this experience of coming across the Platoon set influenced me, even if it happened later in life. It's like that seed was planted. I was like, oh man, there's this whole world that exists, called filmmaking, and it's like movie magic, and what a cool job to have, to work in film. I just didn't really realize it until later in life. Hats off to the sound recording team that worked on this movie back then, because imagine how difficult it must have been to crawl around in the jungle with sound recording equipment and record the sound of the movie. And then they ended up winning an Oscar for it, for best sound. How cool is that? So really, really respect that sound team wherever you guys are. Great job. And I'm a little bit jealous that I couldn't have, done something like that myself. So basically, this whole experience was just really cool. Something fun that our family got to do, and I'll never forget it. And we just used to do random things like this. Piling into my dad's pickup truck and going up to the mountains, having no idea what we would come across. It was just such a cool experience. I'll never forget it. Another interesting thing was that we were just allowed to walk onto set, not even having anything to do with the movie. I just remember now looking back going, why didn't someone stop us or say, oh, this is a private, set, you can't come in here? Well, I'm sure it's because we were in the middle of nowhere in the jungle, and here comes this, foreigner family, my dad, my mom, my sister and I, and so I'm assuming that the crew thought we were part of the production in some capacity. So I don't remember anyone stopping us and saying, oh, you can't go in here. Whereas I think today they're a little bit more strict with security, or someone's going to stop you and say, do you belong here? But anyway, they let us in, and it's just kind of something fun that we got to use because of our privilege of being a foreigner in the Philippines. I don't have a life lesson or a takeaway or anything for this video. Sometimes they're just fun stories that I want to share, but I always try to think of something. So this one's got to be, let's say, adventurous, go out and explore. In another video I said climb those mountains, guys, but what I meant was sometimes you can really find something really cool when you just go out and explore. Kind of like Forest Camp here in Valencia. If you've never been to Forest Camp, it's a really, really cool place and you got to come check it out. So I will probably close it out with that, guys. Leave a comment below if you've ever been on a movie set of any kind. I'd love to hear the story of any movie set that you've been on. And it doesn't have to have been a war movie in the Philippines like what happened to me and my family, but if you have a story, leave a comment below about the time that you were on a set and you thought it was really amazing and cool. Because movie making is cool, you know, it's movie magic. All right, I'm excited to read those comments, guys. I will go ahead and close it out here. Thank you as always for watching my videos. I have a lot of fun making these. Just stories about life in the Philippines, life when I was a kid, and life here now. So I'll say thanks. I will say goodbye. Please leave a like if you like this video and found it interesting. And consider subscribing if you'd like to hear more stories about life here in the Philippines. And I'll leave it at that, guys. I'll say mabuhay. And I'm gonna go swim and enjoy the rest of this forest camp. All right, bye guys.